Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Never Seen It. I am your host, Betsy, and with me, as always, once again, is Trent.
I'm with you.
You are always with me. Today, we are continuing our journey, number 3 of 4 of our 90s cult classics. And today, we are covering a movie that yours truly has seen a number of times, and we have talked about watching many, many times, and it's finally here because Trent has never seen this movie. We are watching Mystery Men from 1999. So this one barely makes it into the cut for the 90s. But as I said, I have seen this, Trent. You have never watched this movie. What do you know about Mystery Men?
So Mystery Men, like my history with it is, I remember my cousins growing up really being into this movie. I can't really tell you why. I never sat down to watch it with them. I was never with them when they watched it. And it was around the time when I moved away from where they were living. Like, I was living in one city with them, and then my family up and left to move to a different city.
That tracks, because that's when you moved was 99.
It was 99. So I remember hearing a lot about it, but I mean, in subsequent years, I mean, it's just never fallen into place where I ever wanted to watch the movie, because based on what I knew about it at the time, it seemed kind of stupid. And that might be the case. I have no idea, but I think this movie is based on a comic book series.
If it is, that's news to me. But
I think it is.
I mean, it could be. It seems like the kind of thing that is, because what is it about?
It's about weird superheroes.
Yeah.
And I think these superheroes have like stupid powers.
It's the conversation my brother and I used to have. What's a really bad superpower to have?
Yeah.
I asked him that once, and his response was to be slightly sticky, like a Post-it note.
What's the thing we talk about? Is the very mild superpower.
Yep.
Yours is when we're in like a store of some kind, like a big warehouse store, like you go to Walmart, go to Home Depot, whatever, you can hear the little music that is playing on the speakers over the din of everybody in there.
I can identify it. It's not that I can just hear it. It's that I know what song it is and who is performing.
Whereas I need to like stop and clear my brain before I can identify anything or even hear the damn thing. A lot of the time anyway. But anyway, very mild superpowers is something that we have talked about quite a bit. But that's not what this movie is about, to my knowledge anyway. As far as who's in it, so there's a lot of people in it.
There are a ton of people you will absolutely know in this movie.
Yeah, and none of them are like super duper big names. I know Ben Stiller is the main star, and he's a fairly big name. Janine Garofalo is another one. Paul Reubens, Pee Wee Herman himself, R.I.P., is also in this movie. And I know that Kel Mitchell of Kenan and Kel fame is also in this movie, in I think the only other movie that he ever made that was, known, other than Good Burger. And I guess they just put out a Good Burger 2?
Which maybe someday we'll see, but I never watched Good Burger.
I've never even seen the Good Burger. Anyway, way off topic. 1999, all these people are in this movie. I'm sure there's a whole lot of other people that I do not remember. As far as like plot, who the bad guys are, I'm sure there's bad guys. I have no idea what this movie is actually about.
Apart from superheroes.
Weird superheroes.
Very good. Well, I guess that's where we will leave it, because it's kind of one of those that I haven't seen in a long time, so I can't even elaborate beyond that myself. So we're going to go watch Mystery Men, and we will be right back. And we're back. That was 1999's Mystery Men. Trent, what did you think of that one?
That was fucking stupid. Wow. Betsy, I don't know why anybody likes this fucking movie.
I think this is one of those movies that is, at its best, fine. It's like fine to like okay. Like it's not a good movie.
Betsy, I was just sitting on the couch just now, hoping this whole thing would be over with.
By the end of the less than 2-hour movie or just under 2-hour movie,
Yeah.
you're like, is it, are we done?
It was enough. By the time they got back to the lair to rescue Captain Amazing, I wished out loud, oh please, could you please just accidentally kill him? That would be amazing if you did that. And it came true.
They did. They
Oh my
accidentally
God.
killed the superhero amongst the heroes.
Betsy, this movie's really bad. like, wow. Like, this came at a time when something like Austin Powers got 2 sequels, and that movie also sucks in its own different in its own different way.
It's better than this movie.
It is better than this movie by a lot, but that's not saying much. This movie is filled with a bunch of fucking people that I don't think actually wanted to be there.
You were not buying that anyone cared about this movie, even though they were in it?
Not at all. I would say the movie is pretty well made. It's shot in an interesting way. Like, for the time, there was a lot of CG in this movie, and, you know, it wasn't bad when you put yourself in 1999 mode. It wasn't bad. They made a whole goddamn city.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of special effects, especially near the end when they blow up the fucking house, and you got this, you know, weapon of mass destruction that they say. And yeah, it might be the best made, worst movie I've ever seen.
So here's what I will say about why I think people like this movie. One, they probably saw this in 1999. Like, this is genuinely the first time I've watched this movie in probably, I don't know, 15 plus years. I was going to say
probably 15 years because I've never seen you watch it.
And I've never loved this movie, but I've always liked this movie. And I think it's because, like I said, if you saw it when you were like 14, 15, it would have been a lot more amusing in the context.
That's what I think this movie was made for.
Secondly, this is absolutely falling into a camp of mid-budget campy movies that were being made at the end of the 90s. Like, this movie, to me, screams that era of the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, think about Men in Black and Batman and Robin and, fuck, I don't know what else. Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
All of these comic book properties that studios were trying to gobble up just to make something out of them and turn them into a franchise.
And this movie is also making fun of those movies and those properties to some extent.
To some extent, maybe.
It is not a traditional superhero kind of movie. These are all just people who are trying to be vigilantes, and they all kind of suck.
And like you said, this is at a time when comic book movies started to become, oh, you can actually make a good one of these. Like, Blade came out in 98, and that movie is amazing.
And this is a year or two before X-Men.
Yeah.
It's that weird shift when it's still very much the 90s, but we're trying to push this into the future.
Yeah, and the studios maybe didn't have the budget to go after the big names. Like, Spider-Man came out a couple of years later.
Yep.
X-Men came out in 2000, 2001. And those are bigger properties that, like, studios like Sony got behind. Like, I didn't even get what studio put this out, but I know it's no fucking Sony or Disney or anything like that.
No, it's a glorified independent movie.
Yeah.
It just happens to have a lot of people who were pretty famous in 1999 in it.
Relatively famous anyway.
Relatively.
And, okay, should we just go down the line of all these fucking people?
So you said in the beginning that you definitely knew, these couple of people.
Yeah.
But there are so many more than even I realized were in this.
Right. Even not as main characters, but as fucking cameos, and we'll get there.
Yeah. So the main group of people, it starts with the 3 guys.
Yeah.
It's Ben Stiller, Hank Azaria, and William H. Macy.
Yeah, and I completely forgot about Hank Azaria being in this. I did know that. But William H. Macy, I guess I forgot, or I just didn't know. And yeah, Hank Azaria is doing his thing that he's really good at voices. He's really good at accents, but it just doesn't work. Even in 1999, you're really pushing it, buddy.
This is that thing that basically now he's like, I shouldn't do that anymore
Yeah.
in the modern times. But in 99, he got away with
It's
it.
just what he did, and he was good at it. And I'm not saying that he's a bad person for doing it back then. He was hired to do the thing, and he did the thing. Fine.
And this is less problematic than some of the other things he has done.
Of course.
He's putting on a fake British accent. It's the whole...
Yeah, and
like,
he justifies it because this person from India did this and did that.
He gives it context.
Okay, fine.
It's just an overcomplicated excuse for his character.
Yeah, and you and I both really like Hank Azaria as an actor, not as this comedic, character actor kind of a guy. He's really good in his TV show Huff. Back in 2004, 2005,
somewhere around there.
He had his own show on Showtime that ran for 2 seasons that was really underrated. And he got to actually stretch his acting chops.
He was also on that other show, 3-4 years ago, where he's like the baseball announcer.
Yeah, and that's another comedy.
Yeah, that's another one that's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy that he's shown up a number of times in movies that we have covered, if I'm not mistaken. Like when he showed up in Heat. What the fuck was he doing in Heat? I don't know, but there he is.
Yeah.
But he fell into this kind of routine where he ended up taking more of these kinds of movies.
The goofy shit.
And he's always perceived as this goofy guy instead of actually stretching his acting muscles.
Yeah.
But those are the 3 guys. And then through the course of the movie, Kel Mitchell, as you said, shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Rubens, Janine Garofalo.
Yep.
Greg Kinnear is in this as Captain Amazing.
No idea he was in this.
Claire Forlani plays a waitress.
Sure.
Another very 90s kind of a person.
In a role in this movie that did not need to exist, but every fucking movie from this era needed to have some kind of love interest.
Yeah. And then there's just all of these extra bad guys sprinkled throughout. You had Eddie Izzard. You had CeeLo Green. Michael Bay shows up in this movie. It's just like, why? Why are you all here? Tom Waits. He's one of the first people on screen. And I went, why is Tom Waits?
Tom Waits is like Mr. Cameo. And he's not even doing a cameo here. It is more, he does these bit parts that, I don't know, he seems like a Tom Waits type. And they call Tom Waits, and of course he says yes, because he always does.
This is at least the 3rd time he has just shown up in a movie and we didn't know he was in it.
Exactly like this.
Yeah, he shows up, he acts like a little weirdo, and then he leaves. Or he maybe comes back for one more scene. And that is his whole thing. He's not terrible in this. He's an eccentric mad scientist who makes non-lethal weapons.
Yeah, and this is just the thing that he does. He's always a little weirdo. He's always not connected to the main cast. He's secondary in everything.
He's there to help.
Have you ever seen a Tom Waits movie where he's like the star?
Does that exist?
I don't know.
I don't know if that exists.
He likens himself to be an actor, so why wouldn't he be cast in something other than a bit part?
Tom Waits is one of those guys that is an artist. I feel like he would probably call himself more of that. He likes to be creative, which is why he acts, but he also does music. And I don't know enough about the man, but it wouldn't surprise me if he also does art. If he has some weird niche kind of art that he creates.
Is he the proto Jack Black, but isn't a comedic guy?
No, I wouldn't go so far as to say that, but he is definitely a creative's creative.
Sure.
People who make movies, people who make music love Tom Waits. And he is certainly, if you've ever listened to him sing, not a guy everyone is going to enjoy. Because he just has this weird gravelly kind of...
Betsy,
calling his singing is generous, frankly.
I have seen more films that he's appeared in than I've heard Tom Waits' music.
Have you actually heard him sing?
Probably at one point. It's by accident.
It is very gravelly, and
I'm sure.
As I said, calling it singing is generous.
Anyway, moving on from Tom Waits. Ben Stiller, I knew was the main guy here, and I don't know what my real opinion is about Ben Stiller, but I don't really like him. I don't dislike him. He doesn't do the kind of comedy that I like. He
is another one that fell into this niche where it's kind of not grown up, way too angry. He plays silly a lot. It's just not really believable.
No.
Like, he's another one of those guys, like him and Janine Garofalo in this movie, I kind of love because they're sort of two sides of the same coin at times.
Yeah.
But they're both playing the same person at times too.
But I like Janine Garofalo in this movie a lot more than Ben Stiller.
I think it feels more genuine. Like, I perceive the two of them both as like angry people from the 90s.
Yes.
But she is always an angry person from the 90s.
She's always been that.
And I believe she is that person. Like, she's kind of the angry goth chick, if you will.
Sure.
I always picture her like chain smoking and swearing at people. Meanwhile, Ben Stiller, he plays that a lot. But then, like, when he's getting angry, it's just silly.
Yeah, he wants to be everything. He wants to be the clean comedy guy. He wants to be the silly guy. He wants to be the gross out guy.
The character actor.
He wants to be everything. And none of it ever sticks for me. Which is why I don't think that I would want to even watch a movie like Night at the Museum. Maybe he's not the focus there. It's all of the attractions. But I've never seen that movie, and I kind of don't want to because I don't really like Ben Stiller.
I think that he is fine in small doses, and that's actually
Maybe that's what it is.
That's one of the better ones, I would say, where he doesn't go full silly, even though he's in a silly situation. Sometimes I think he doesn't know how to read the room. Like, he's so silly. Like, in this movie, it's okay because the entire movie is silly.
That's the character.
But it even almost goes too far within the context of the movie. There's no heart to this movie. There's nothing that makes me want to redeem all these characters and just believe them as a team. It's just them all being silly and angry and comic book characters, but there's no real spirit to it.
No.
So I understand the complaint. I don't dislike Ben Stiller, but I see your problem with him, especially in this.
Yeah, and I mean, far be it for me to even say a good movie that I've seen him in. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Oh, it's frustrating because there's sometimes I'll find one where I actually really kind of like him, and then he can't help himself and he goes to that silly place. It's like, just rein it in, because there's so many of those guys that do comedy and then they get older and they're able to do drama and dramatic work and you actually believe it. He's one of those guys that can't quite resist it. He can't stop himself from being silly and going back and doing like Zoolander 2.
Yeah, and maybe it's better that he is kind of fallen behind the camera a lot more in recent years, where he's been directing more, making more of his own movies, and just having other people be on screen. And that's fine.
And maybe that's another reason I associate him with that kind of cynical 90s thing.
And I
like
understand.
he made The Cable Guy. That's a Ben Stiller movie.
Right.
And
he's also on screen in that movie.
He is. But it's kind of the spirit of that is kind of angry and cynical.
It is, yeah.
So there is this streak of him. He's a contradiction because he makes angry, cynical movies, but then when he is on screen in front of the camera, he's this silly little man boy.
Coming from a family where he comes from, you know, Jerry Stiller being
this
legendary comedian guy.
And his mom.
I don't know, is he like the original Nepo baby from that generation where, hey, my parents are really funny and famous, so I need to be funny and famous, I haven't really found my niche yet?
There's so many people that fall under that umbrella. It's just only recently we gave a shit.
Because there's so fucking many of them.
There's a lot more, and the internet and social media makes it more obvious. Like when Ben Stiller was starting, I don't think anybody gave two shits. Like he was in Empire of the Sun in the late 80s or whenever that came out. He's in a Steven Spielberg movie, and the star of that movie is an incredibly young Christian Bale. And it is bizarre in the 1980s to see a grown-up Ben Stiller playing opposite a child-aged Christian Bale. Because in my head, I know them contextually as both grown-ups now. So it's weird to go back to that time frame. But that was when he was trying other things. He's playing it straight in that movie. He's just an actor.
Yeah.
And it's not until he gets to the 90s that he starts playing these like silly Happy Gilmore and Heavyweights and, anything else he was crunching out at this time.
I really do believe that what you said of him being good in small doses and having him be these very, very minor characters, like in Happy Gilmore, you said. He's really, really funny in that.
In context, for a small amount of time.
In character for this very small thing.
No, we're not going to make a whole movie about that character. It would be obnoxious.
Yeah.
But let's not talk about Ben Stiller for the entirety of this movie. One person I didn't even mention yet was the villain, who I completely forgot was in this movie. I will say, Casanova Frankenstein is a fucking fantastic name. I'm into the supervillain name. Played by Jeffrey Rush. I was genuinely racking my brain to remember who the villain was, because I remembered there was something with Captain Amazing kind of being bad. And what I was apparently remembering was he got so good at his job that he decided they needed to bring a supervillain back. And
I need my nemesis back.
He pushes some things around to get the nemesis back out on the street so he can actually have something to do and keep his sponsors happy. But they show this guy in shadow with long hair, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? I do not remember. And it's Jeffrey Rush. What did you think of him?
I think he was maybe the best part of the movie, if I really want to say that. Besides Janine Garofalo, I think Jeffrey Rush is, I don't know if he's having fun with this, but he's doing his level best as an actor.
I think he also knows what he is in. He knows that he is playing Casanova Frankenstein, a supervillain in a comic book city, and he just gets to go out there and have fun. Like, he is not believable. He's not scary.
Yeah.
He's just silly, but he knows he's being silly.
The top thing in the IMDb trivia is kind of interesting along those lines. Quote, Janine Garofalo had originally turned down the role of the Boulder, but changed her mind when she heard that William H. Macy and Jeffrey Rush had signed on. So you get these two fucking powerhouse actors. William H. Macy was in Fargo a couple of years prior to this, and a huge name with doing like big dramedies.
And Jeffrey Rush won an Oscar like 2-3 years before this.
Exactly. So you get these big names in this fucking movie, and you're too big as Janine Garofalo to show up for this? No, fuck that. You go get your paycheck.
Yeah, and she's fun in this movie.
Yeah, she's maybe my second favorite thing.
I like that she is, first of all, she's carrying around her own father's skull inside a bowling ball.
Oh,
but
boy.
Secondly, she is the one in the group that kind of has the most powers.
Sure.
But she also might be insane. I'm not really sure, because she can talk to her dead father's skull inside the bowling ball, but the bowling ball also flies around.
And it talks back to her.
Yes, but no
we
one else
don't hear
can
it.
No one else can hear it. So it's just like, okay, so you're technically the most powerful one with genuine powers in this group, even of the super villains. Like, Jeffrey Rush doesn't have any powers. He has gadgets.
Yeah, and somehow the Sphinx character has a power to cut guns in half. That's it.
And use metaphors, structured metaphors.
Sure. I wouldn't exactly call that a superpower, but I mean, it's a way to annoy people. It's
the kind of thing that I had to watch like training videos in my work, where it's just like, if you don't master your power will master you.
Oh, like, so wise.
How many training videos I've had to watch where that's basically what they're doing. They're telling you just backwards things. And that's his whole power, is annoying the team or bringing them together, depending on who you are.
What's the guns thing? How did he do that?
I don't know. It's literally the only thing we see him do. He's
didn't even see him do it.
He's incredibly mysterious.
Fuck.
His power is mystery.
I'm cringing so hard right now. Betsy, I don't know if you looked over at me at all during this.
I tried not to.
Yeah.
Try not to, Trent.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw my face during the majority of this movie, but it was one of just cringe. Like, questioning what the hell is going on? Why am I watching this? I turned over to you and I said, you could have stopped this. You could have stopped us from watching this movie because you've seen this movie and you probably knew what my reaction was going to be, but maybe not. I don't know, but I blame you.
Okay, to be fair, you also wanted to watch this movie.
I did, because I didn't know anything about it. I knew it was a beloved movie from the 90s that maybe had got a bad rap or something.
I don't know if I'd call it beloved. I think there's a group of people that appreciate
I'm sure
this.
there's plenty of people who actually love this movie for the wrong reasons and the right reasons.
You mean to tell me you don't like that Paul Rubens as the spleen, his superpower is farting because he was cursed by an old gypsy woman?
He farts.
He farts.
farts
With great accuracy. And Kel Mitchell can turn himself invisible, but only if no one is looking at him.
Yeah.
And even if he looks at himself, it doesn't work.
And all of his clothes fall off in the process because the clothes don't just go with you.
No.
You become what's the opposite of corporeal? Wow.
Were there any superpowers in this movie that you enjoyed? Like perhaps you enjoyed Dane Cook as the waffler with his griddle of justice.
Fuck me, Dane Cook showing up as the waffler.
And Doug Jones, the tall guy who was Pencil Man or whatever they called him.
Not Eraserhead, Pencil Man.
Penciler. Yeah, Doug Jones is the fish man from Shape of Water.
That's right. Yeah.
Amongst other things.
He's a
know
very
him from.
tall man who does a lot of stuff for what's his name?
Guillermo del Toro.
Del Toro, yeah. I mean, the shoveler is a choice, I guess.
God gave me a gift. I shovel very well.
And his wife, like, that was one of the things that she loves about him. You shovel so good. You're such a good shoveler.
And then, of course, Hank Azaria's character throws cutlery.
Yeah, he throws forks and spoons, and
not knives.
And he makes puns with such things.
All things. Look, they are trying to do some things here. They are making fun of these kinds of comics, these kinds of movies.
I don't agree.
I think they are. Like, there are some moments where I do feel like they are poking fun at the genre. It's like the fact that none of these people have actual powers. They're just people who are going out and trying to make their city better. But it's also this big, silly world that they have designed. And like you said, you loved when they accidentally killed Captain Amazing.
Yeah.
Like, that is not something that happens in these kind of movies. The fact that Captain Amazing has corporate sponsors, you're telling me that this is not a satire of these kinds of movies? He literally has people paying to put their logos on his uniform, and he rides around with a publicist in a limousine. Like, that is absolutely commentary on these kinds of movies.
Well, up to this point, there really wasn't a lot of these kinds of movies, so they can't really poke fun at them. The actual piece of media that pokes fun at superhero stuff, and I haven't seen the show, neither of you, is The Boys on Amazon.
Yes.
That stuff is fully making fun of all of the other superhero stuff.
But it took 20 years to get there.
Yeah. So maybe The Boys is another version of Mystery Men. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know exactly what I'm saying, but there's just a level of camp that I recognize in this from other kinds of superhero movies, like all of the stupid gangs. Like, everybody has their own thing. Michael Bay is in the frat boys or whatever they call them. And then there's like the disco boys. And
there's so much disco.
There's so many like themed groups that don't have any powers. They're just generic gangs of bad guys.
Which, again, just does not make any sense. And I'm trying to really put myself back in 1999 and these kinds of movies, and I keep on going back to the Austin Powers comparison.
I think this would really have been more enjoyable to you if you had seen the 90s Joel Schumacher Batman and Robin. I know you've never watched it.
I know enough about it to know what you're talking about.
That movie came out in what, 97? 98?
Yeah.
And this movie came out in 99. And you cannot tell me there is not a direct link between these two. The way like the angles are in this movie during the fight scenes, there's a lot of Batman. Like, if you've seen the 60s Batman or the 90s campy
it's a lot
Batman.
Of the gadgets and like Tom Waits is, for lack of a better word, the Q of this entire thing.
And there's kind of this everybody is like trying to make quippy little lines while they fight.
Okay, now you're getting me on board with your comparison.
That's what I'm saying. I think you really have to remember what else was going on right before this movie came out to really appreciate that they are in fact making fun of it to some extent.
They are, but without referencing it. Like, there are no like direct comparisons, or there's no direct mirror image of another character. Like, there isn't the Superman equivalent, there isn't a Batman equivalent or anything like that. All of these characters here are their own made up bullshit.
People who read too many comics or people who watched too many comic movies.
Yeah, it's all of these fucking people who like come to the tryouts, the auditions for the Mystery Men. The Waffler is an inspired choice. He has his low-fat syrup. And the Pencil Man and the Pencil Boy, and it's everybody with their stupid-ass ideas thinking that, oh, I'm a superhero too.
And that's kind of the world that we're in, because they say something about Casanova has been in prison for 20 years, which means that Captain Amazing has been doing this for a very, very long time. This entire group of people grew up in a city, in a world where there is a true, honest-to-God superhero, and they want to be like him. So the fact that they have 50 people show up to a barbecue at their / pool party to audition, it makes sense. They're not good at it. They're all terrible, but they try.
And I keep going back to, okay, some of these guys actually do have some kind of power. Kel does turn invisible, but only one time, and he can't control it. So that's a thing. The Sphinx does the thing with the guns. That's something. Janeane Garofalo's bowling ball has some kind of power to it. We can't really understand it. But I think the rest of these guys are just guys. So why is it halfway in and halfway out? Like, Ben Stiller, his power is getting really angry and throwing a tantrum. That's it.
He's Mr. Furious.
Like, the scene of them just going at it on the limo. Like, they get out of their station wagon and they start putting dents in the doors, and Paul Reubens pulls his pants down and farts inside. And I don't know why that they don't like pass out or die from
There's some inconsistencies to his ability.
And I don't even want to get that granular on it because it's so fucking dumb.
Okay, another thing I love about them poking fun at these kinds of movies, and this is an obvious one, the fact that Ben Stiller recognizes that Captain Amazing is the eccentric billionaire Lance What's-His-Face.
That was funny.
And no one else believes him. They're like, he wears glasses and Captain Amazing doesn't. He's like, well, he takes them off when he goes to fight. That doesn't make any sense. How would he see?
He wouldn't be able to see. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and of course, he's a billionaire who doesn't have any superpowers. He's the fucking Batman of this universe.
Yeah.
So there is absolutely some thought that went into this.
I'll give you that one. That was funny.
Another thing to come out of this movie, because we need to address this one. When Smash Mouth cues up in this movie playing All-Star, this is the movie that song comes from. An entire generation of people assumes that song originated in Shrek, but it didn't.
No.
It came out 2 years before that in this movie. If you look up the music video for All-Star, the Mystery Men are in the official music video, and it's that sequence of the limousine and them jumping out of the car and him like throwing up his hands in rage and then slamming the hood. That's the music video for All-Star. And I have known this since 1999, and it is one of those things. I turn into Mr. Furious when people talk about it's from Shrek.
Betsy going to bat for Smash Mouth.
I will. I'm going to bat for Mystery Men. For this one particular element of it, because this movie has been relegated to cult status, and everybody, quote unquote, everybody, most people love Shrek.
We love Shrek.
But that song in particular, that's the movie that everybody thinks of. I've talked about this a lot, like where I intrinsically associate a specific song to a specific movie in the last few weeks, and this is yet another one. I associate Smash Mouth, All-Star, to this movie, to Mystery Men, and most people do not.
Yeah, you and like 5 other people.
Yeah. It's just one of those, like, do you even know that? Because I don't know if people know that.
I think I didn't know that, but I also believe that Shrek uses the song a lot more effectively at the very beginning of the movie, and it's just integrated into that movie a lot better.
It's establishing a character in a way that it's just in this movie. The song is just in the movie.
Yeah. It's just one of many songs.
Yeah. Which is why it, didn't get nominated for an Oscar for Best Original Song or anything for Shrek, because it wasn't an original song.
No, of course not.
Before we move on, we have to take a quick break for a word from our sponsor. Patreon.com/neverseenapod. 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 Hi, we're Betsy and Trent, the incredibly beautiful and talented hosts of Never Seen It with Betsy and Trent. Due to a factory error, we are now overstocked on podcasts, and we are passing this deal on to you. For the low, low price of $5 a month, you can get Never Seen It Movie Club, Real Love, Box Set, The Way Back Machine, and so much more. So come on down to patreon.com/neverseenapod and claim these amazing deals today. All right, before we start wrapping this up, we have to talk about the direction of this film, because there are some choices. Like, there are a lot of get right up and stare into the camera moments in this movie.
I noticed that.
I don't know if I loved it or hated it.
Oh,
because
I hated it.
It was happening so much. It's like, okay, you at least were trying something, but it was very inconsistent because it was like a lot at the beginning and then they kind of stopped doing it.
Yeah, the first one is with William H. Macy and his wife when he comes home and they're having this first argument where she has on the cleaning rubber gloves and she's putting them onto his face, but it's actually the camera, and then it switches around, and then it cuts back to a 2-shot of them, and it just doesn't feel right.
And they do it again in the same sequence when they show them all in their just normal lives. Like, Hank Azaria's character lives at home with his mother, and she barges into his room, and it's the same thing. And then we go to Ben Stiller at the junkyard, and his boss is like screaming at him to junk this car.
Yeah. And they do the exact same thing without the hands.
But it's the only time they do it in the whole movie. And the rest of the movie, it's just, I don't know, just pretty typical, like
standard.
Up in your business, campy 90s kind of direction. But you were reading that the director of this movie barely made it through this movie.
Yeah, Hank Azaria was interviewed about this movie, and he said that the director told him, like nearing the end, saying, man, I cannot wait to be done with this. I'm going to go back to making commercials. I'm done with this bullshit.
Like, I like doing it in short spurts, but this is such a hassle.
This is nonsense.
Yeah. And I didn't even look to see if that person has ever made another movie.
I have no idea.
This is not a name I recognize. This director, I have no idea who they are.
But you were saying, like, going back to, like, seeing what these guys' normal lives are. Like, when we went to the Hank Azaria house, it was refreshing to have him not talk in the accent when he actually talked in his real voice. You never hear that from Hank Azaria. He's always doing voices.
Even when he is doing like an accent, like sometimes he's just like from New York or Chicago.
Sure.
He's still doing an accent. He doesn't just talk.
Yeah. And in this one, he just talks
for a very brief time. Like
only to his mother, but his mother doesn't like it. Do the voice. Do the accent.
Yeah, he comes out to his mom. He comes out as a superhero.
He comes out to his mom.
That is what he is doing. And
that's kind of how they're depicting this, yeah.
And she's like, I was saving this silverware from your great-great-grandmother for when you get married. But
it doesn't seem like that's going to happen.
Like that's not for a long time now. You take this. Do the accent. She's a proud mama. That's my Jeffrey. Well, Trent, do you have anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this one up?
I do like, because Casanova Frankenstein, it's the first time I've actually said it out loud, and that's stupid. The first time he gets out of this loony bin, it's been 20 years that he's been in there, and his lair is like this disco palace.
It's a disco den.
I love it.
Yeah.
Like, Eddie Izzard is up there saying, disco isn't dead. Disco is life.
Do the math. He's been imprisoned for 20 years.
Yeah.
1999 puts him straight back to the era of disco.
Disco came in the late 70s, and it went far into the 80s. A lot of people don't realize that. They think it's a 70s thing.
People think it was strictly the 70s, but it really didn't start until the late 70s.
Yeah, the backlash started in the 80s, but it still was very popular.
Disco will never die. It just took on a different form.
It did. Disco is underrated.
Have you heard Dua Lipa? That's pretty much what she does, is fucking disco music.
Yeah.
Club music, dance music. That's what it evolved into. People can say, oh, disco died. Disco never died.
Disco never dies, baby.
Disco evolved like dinosaurs into birds, and it will never go away.
But no, Betsy, other than what I just said, I mean, I'm glad
glad, quote unquote.
I'm glad, in quotes, that we did this movie. I can understand how it is a cult classic movie. I can understand why people do like this. I am not shitting on the people who actually do. Good for you. I'm glad you found something to enjoy amongst you and your freaks. But in that, I really hated The Goonies. I don't hate this movie. I don't think this is a hot trash fire like The Goonies was.
You are really intense about The Goonies.
I'm never gonna let anybody live that down. That movie fucking sucks. Go back and listen to that episode. Long time ago, almost 3 years ago, we did that movie, and yeah, wow.
You have hard feelings about The Goonies, but you won't have such hard feelings about Mystery Men.
Correct.
All right then. Well, I think that's gonna do it for yet another cult classic. If you would like to tell us, are you one of the freaks who loves Mystery Men? Do you have opinions about The Goonies? Is Trent the one who is wrong? You should email us, neverseenapod@gmail.com.
Never been wrong.
We don't have any emails to read for you today. However, if you would like to reach out to us, send us an email to that address, or you can go to our social media pages. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Blue Sky. Send us a message on one of those platforms. We're on there all the time. We'll see them. We'll read them on here.
Yeah.
You can also go to wherever you listen to podcasts, rate us 5 stars, write us a review. It'll make us feel good. Don't you want to pass joy on in the world?
Make yourself feel good by making us feel good.
And of course, if you have not been paying attention, we are doing a Patreon. We have a whole set of other shows that you can go check out at patreon.com/neverseenitpod. For just $5 a month, you can enjoy 4 brand new shows, plus a lot of other extra content. And it's very silly. If you like silly things like Mystery Men, you will enjoy patreon.com/neverseenitpod.
Yes, indeed. All those episodes come out every Wednesday, plus the extra ones just kind of thrown in there whenever.
When we feel like it.
On a schedule that I keep to myself.
A schedule of your own design that you will not share.
That's right.
Because it's fluid.
Yeah. Well, it's basically whenever I feel like putting it out, but we do throw in extra content every single month. That
address once again, patreon.com/neverseenapod. But Trent, that is going to do it for Mystery Men. We do have, however, one last cult classic from the 90s that will be coming your way next Sunday.
That's right. Betsy, we are going back to the Alien story.
We can't stay away from the aliens.
Yeah. We're going to be covering Mars Attacks.
Another film that is new to you.
Yep.
And I have seen. But until that time, this has been another episode of Never Seen It. My name is Betsy.
And my name is Trent.
And we'll see you next week.
See ya.